Welcome back to another RTSL 2021 game organised by Fruitstrike, our overlord. I hope you have a fun time watching. Well, we've got a fistful of scoring cards to start. That's always fun. Let's see what we can do with those. We are playing Gollum51. Always nice to play a Tolkien fan. So, we don't have Vietnam revolts, but we do have De Gaulle, but no way of dropping DEFCON. So we go 4-4-1, I guess. Yeah, that's fine. Plug our hand in. We've got you an intervention for martial plan, which is nice. I think we're dropping Europe scoring in the headline here. 8th card is Comicom. 4-4-2. Yeah. De Gaulle's only good if they're headline duck and cover, which they're unlikely to. And we're more likely to get points out of Asia than Europe, with no way of dropping Italy. So Europe scoring it is. And they go off to space early doors. So we will UN intervention Iran with Marshall Plan. And we just about get there. So let's see what they do for their counter coup. Having a think. Just goes for influence. So we'll take Syria to dominate and make them guess. And of course, DEFCON's at 4, so they can't straight play into Indonesia. And they might be sketchy about a Malaysia coup because of access to Thailand. So let's hope they read the room badly and play into Egypt or Israel. We'll go from there. If I move at any point and scream, that's because I've got a bit of a glass spine today, so apologies for that. Okay, do a little bit of everything. We'll 2-op coup. We'll give special relationship away. We're already behind in space. We're going to 2-op coup Indonesia. That was rubbish. Wanted access. Access. That does leave Thailand open if they play into it. And if they drop Middle East scoring, we can respond with Asia scoring. If they don't, we can use De Gaulle to take Iraq. So let's see what they do. We'd quite like them to drop Middle East scoring now. And we've seen CIA go, which is nice. If we could see defectors go as well, we might have a clear run at the next early war targets. Right. If they have another crack at Indonesia, we've got time to have another go ourselves. And as long as DEFCON's up, we can have a go at Thailand too. So plenty of options. Cool. More influence. Continuing to spread around. Alas, we can't do both, as it were. And if we play into Pakistan and they successfully coup it, actually, we could use the... Yeah, we use the China card to take both. That's not good. Let's take Iraq and play into South Korea. Because if they do make a coup, we can fill South Korea and Pakistan with the China card. Although with 3 ops, they can take Thailand and Indonesia, and the Thailand and Indonesia is enough to level up in Asia. So we're unlikely to dominate Asia here, unfortunately. But with NASA still to come, we're likely to cause a bit of trouble in the Middle East. It's pretty much only a successful coup of Iran that makes our life really miserable. Still thinking. They've got Buku influence. Oh, well, I cannot resist but have a coup on Thailand. A nice big coup. That's simply irresistible. It's only 2 ops for them to fill other areas, but I mean that's really good for us. And Iran coup isn't great here, having given up the China card for access. But they may have to do the AR6, and they may not get a chance if they have to do something in Asia now. And then they may drop Middle East scoring. We can but hope. So some more thinking here. And we get a 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so we aren't going to dominate Asia, unfortunately, but we've got a lot of battlegrounds, so we get a few points. And if they don't coup Iran this turn, we get Milops. So if they drop Middle East scoring, we're also laughing. So VR gone. So goes for Iran. Connects quite well, but not well enough. So we do have to worry about defectors, but NATO is currently a free play. And Fidel. Okay, so the safest play in inverted commas is eventing Fidel, and if it gets defected, that's life. There we go. Limited harm / foul. And with Defcon at 3, we take a big old coup on Egypt, even with Nasser in play, I guess. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. And it's a good thing we did. So we go 2 in Iran and start pressing on South Korea as well. Deck's looking pretty red now, with the cards in my hand. That 5-year plan, containment, and Truman Doctrine. And of course, they're no good to the US. Maybe holding blockade, in which case they could blockade D-Star. We'd be happy with that. They've got the China card though, so it'll be very easy for them to hold D-Col / D-Star. So, what's the imperative, I guess? 2 in Iran, 1 in South Korea with Warsaw Pact. And then we could try running up Korean War. Suez is good. Okay. So clear France. We just take 4 out. Okay, Suez is gone. In which case, I guess we just overprotect North Korea and take highlight South Korea. Now they need to use the China card now to take South Korea, and we'd be quite happy to take it back. We'll be sending NORAD to space, with currently no way of them getting access immediately to Pakistan. They could tap Iraq, and then we want to fill Iran, and then we'd start to sweat a little. Yeah, I see. Tapping Iraq I see as the optimal play here, forcing us to put 2 into Iran, and then covering Pakistan potentially against. Oh, they just dropped Middle East scoring. That's great for us from a tempo point of view, because we can now use independent Reds to take all of South Korea. And that also allows us to event in remaining abdication if we think we want presence, domination, or D-style ops. But I think we're probably just going to drop an op at some point. But we do want to leave Pakistan free against Indo-Pakistani war for now. So, whole Korean War, space NORAD, 2 Formosa into Iran and 1 into Laos. Not unreasonable. Not unreasonable at all. So I don't mind the shape we're currently in. They did have NASA all along, but that's fine. We can only control the things we can control. And the op went into Angola, also fine. So I think now we space. With the scoring cards gone. Roscosmos, you disappoint. So 2 into Iran and 1 into Laos. Is our game plan. There's Truman. Very ops light this turn, but they're doing alright. So we retake Iran. They'll be looking to spear Nigeria now. I still feel it's probably early to be staking a claim on Africa, but it never hurts to get ahead of the curve. But if they play in Saharan states and Cameroon, they also might guarantee me coup ops if they drop DEFCON. So I don't think it's great for them. Holding Korean War, so if they drop DEFCON in the headline, we've got Millop outlets. We'd really like to see Indo-Pakistani War come in our hand turn 3. Because that's a fair big VP swing. Oh, wow, well, that's brilliant for us, right? That's fantastic. I mean, they've waved away 2 VP there to develop their mid-war board. But if the steamroller gets going in Asia and the Middle East, and maybe even with a De Gaulle headline, that could very much count against them. So yeah, I'm pretty satisfied there. So if they dump the China card into either of the Koreas, it's a 2-op card to repair. And if we don't repair it with a 2-op card, it's a 4-op card afterwards to flip it. And given that we have access to India and Pakistan, better than they do, we still stand a decent chance of domination if they do that. And it's quite an expensive proposition on their part. Lots of influence. Goes for France. That's sensible. Doesn't get domination, though. We get D-style and defectors, so socialist governments isn't shabby. Purge is gone. We get 5-year plan. D-style. SOCGov. Arab Israel. So they get the rest. Containment. OG. Decol. Cambridge 5. Blockade. So they're probably going to contain so they can then blockade Decol. And in the reshuffle we got NTB. NATO. And defectors. Okay, so D-style will happen. So socialist governments is the best headline. And we expect to see containment. Yeah. So we will coup Libya for flipping Middle East Dom as well. We'll worry about mid-war using D-style. Great. That helps pressure some more. And we'll hold 5-year plan to ditch a nasty scorecard, ideally, I think. Although, we're at to D-style, I guess, aren't we? So actually maybe 5-year planning away defectors for an extra op is better rather than leaving us potentially DEFCON stranded. But D-style is definitely the play. And with no access to Egypt, we can actually just take 2 out of Egypt for now. 1 out of Thailand. And 1 out of Finland. Let's see if they rapidly repair Europe. Another option was 2 out of Italy, but that leaves control, and then we have to break it, running the risk of getting Truman anyway. So I think just making a mess for them is better. Uh, mm, mm, mm. 3 ops with OG. Repairs. Now we want a D-style now. So 1 out of Thailand, 2 out of Egypt, 1 out of Finland. Let's see if they roll big rear lines on Central America, and we'll worry about Africa by cooing. Although they have to walk into Sahara and Cameroon. Maybe we want to take Nigeria while we can. Boom, boom, boom. Boom. And then we'll go Nigeria, Chile, Venezuela, Mexico. Not sure that's best. Always welcome a debate. We only know 3 of their cards. Decol, Cambridge 5 and Blockade. So once we get a read on the other three cards, we can be a bit more precise. You know, like I don't want to play into Pakistan if they're going to play Indo-Pakistani War before the three cards we know. And they're also unlikely to be eventing this turn, of course, because they are focusing predominantly on playing for ops. So they've got a couple of options here. Fill Mexico, play into Saharan states and Cameroon and threaten a realign on Nigeria. Or play into non-battlegrounds in Europe and threaten domination. If they do the third, we use nuclear test ban, tap Germany, finish filling Mexico. If they do the first, we can play one into Nigeria, two into Cote d'Ivoire, one into Mexico to cover against the zero realign and a lack of flipping. If they just take Mexico, they're going with the two-up realign, so Mexico. Oh no, the Hail Mary -1. Please miss. Yeah. Okay, so decall to go. Yeah. Okay, so we will make it a little harder to realign me. So now we know they've got the Cambridge 5. The other three are unknown. But bar Europe, where we're inevitably somewhat behind, we can do some work in Africa, even with a lack of decall. Things like South African unrest and Portuguese Empire crumbles will come in there. This is alright. 5 and 9? Yeah. Even keeping track of what the hell is going on. Ooh. 4 ops. Now they're getting serious. That's for access to Greece. We overprotect both our battlegrounds. And we'll take Czechoslovakia. So, here might be take Europe for domination or roll a ton of realigns starting in Mexico at +1, at 0 even. Or heavy realign attempts on one branch of South America. Influence. So, Europe. Yeah. Okay. We'll eat that. There's not a lot we can do there. I don't know. We can be difficult by tapping Germany. We're in no rush. And they now need to repair West Germany and overprotect France against that getting tapped. So 2 unknown cards now. The fact they've not used the Cambridge 5 early in the turn is good to avoid telegraphing, but also suggests they may actually be holding a scoring card. Obviously, if they spend 3 ops now, we can't defend Europe. Here comes Cambridge 5. Overprotect, overprotect, overprotect. Oh no, one in South Africa. Okay, so we can tap West Germany again. This is probably inviting a Truman Doctrine, but we can tap away. They spend 2 ops now, and we're stuffed, but we can overprotect Mexico and Venezuela against Voice of America. And if they don't do anything to surprise us, I guess that means we could use defectors and hold 5-year plan. Although that's super risky without the China card. We just need CIA and another DEFCON dropper and we're stuck. So I think I will use 5-year plan. It's probably, I don't know if that's excessively risk averse. Again, that's worth a question. They had Truman, but they're keeping it in the bank. Okay, well, if you have Europe scoring, well done. Oh no, you've played you've played Cambridge 5, so we know that to not be the case. But we will go Venezuela overprotect, Mexico overprotect, and we'll pop the other one in Brazil to make brush war on Venezuela less attractive. And we're going to find out their last card as well. And I'd say we're going into mid-war marginally ahead. We're slightly behind where we want to be on the VP tracker, but we're in pretty good shape in the Middle East. We're in pretty darn good shape in Asia. We're in great shape in South America. Moderately behind in Africa, but ahead in the Americas, I'd say. And Europe's problematic, but it's not supremely far away from a flip. De Gaulle in a 4-op card, and we're laughing. So, yeah, slightly ahead. Not hugely. So it's a 60-minute game, and they've used 25 minutes of their clock in the first few turns, which is a bold gambit. So Indo-Pakistani War, once again, not using it for mill-ops. They're in Cameroon, but that's not great for them. Che would have been lovely. But Lone Gunman and Brush War are fine. How about Lone Gunman to see their hand coup Cameroon, Columbia even, if they've got South America scoring. If we get Missile Envid, they can have U2 Incident or OPEC, which is better than giving them Brush War. It feels like an early and an odd time to use Lone Gunman, but it's also moderately attractive. Let's add the mid-war cards, and we'll make a stand. OPEC. Panama is bad. Special relationships fine as long as NATO isn't in play, which it's not. Brush War. Nuke subs. U2 Somet. Was that a MIT I saw before I flicked over to the card tracker? And Lee Harvey Oswald. So we want to be putting a MIT in space. There's too many good cards in the deck for us that we really don't want to see disappear. Let's look at their hand. Well, that's annoying. Asia scoring. Mm. Che, Portuguese. South of both of them in their hand. Great. Sadat. So we want OPEC first. Camp David. Purge, Asia scoring, and lads. Okay. So where do we want to use our single operations point? I think we'll use it by cooing Angola, and then we can move straight on to adding influence to cover ourselves. Well, that was diabolical. Okay, and we know Asia scoring's coming. We're all right there. What are their 3-op cards? Che and Purge. Let's play into... We're going to play into Cote d'Ivoire, and if they flip it, that's something. And if they don't... Although, they've not got many other great realign targets, so let's force them to realign. Because that also means we're going to be able to drop OPEC for 5 VP rather than 4 when they drop Sadat. A 1 in 3 brush war in Italy with brush war. It's seductive. It's the biggest chance of a swing on the board. But yeah, I think regardless of what we do soon, dropping OPEC is big, and obviously making sure we stay ahead in Asia. But 2-op cards will do that in Koreas, in the Koreas. And they need to fill Taiwan and Japan, and we can just play into Burma and Pakistan. So I feel like we're sufficiently well ahead in Asia, certainly. But yeah, Mitt's definitely going to space. Going for influence. Okay. So here... What do we want to do? We'll overprotect Brazil, because if they jam it... We need to use a 3-op card to flip it, and we're not prepared to do that. Well, it's unlucky we didn't flip Angola. We've still left them with a couple of tricky 2-op cards, which is something. Event and repair Panama Canal returned at the end of the hand, I guess. If they jam Argentina, I'm a little peeved. Okay. Well, that's annoying. Whilst that's annoying, it takes the pressure off us so we can space emit and fail. We'll still be able to drop OPEC for 4 VP. Couple with Asia scoring, that takes us up quite highly. So we can live with that. They're now left with Purge and a bunch of red cards. And we can play nuclear subs on AR7 if they haven't dropped Asia scoring. So we want to see what they do with Purge. So we'll see whether or not they start spacing. Okay, Che goes. We'll event and repair Panama Canal returned, which is a bit of an empty tempo, but we want to kind of watch what they do. They now have Purge, the China card if they want to use it. But we've got time to respond on those counts. We really don't want to use Brush War for the ops. That's the specific thing, though. So let's wait and see what they get up to. We may have to use Brush War for the ops to maintain Domination Asian. Of course, that's worth doing. Just gives up on it. That's great for us. So we'll now use Summit in Argentina to make sure we don't get Voice of America out at the bottom of South America. And then it's choices. The 1 in 3 Brush War in Europe is probably more attractive than the 50% Central America. Flipping Zaire is not great when Angola's a backdoor. And playing into non-battlegrounds we want to avoid because they're currently not getting mill ops. So we'll go up to 15 at the end of the hand. There's a reason not to play nuclear subs. With Sadat gone and Egypt at 2, we also have a coup on the Middle East in Egypt if we want it. Okay, so it's a horrible card for them. Alright, we want to avoid getting realigned actually, don't we? That's a shame. What do we want to do here? We've got Purge, so we know they can take Chile. Alright, I think we're boring. We don't worry about Europe and we protect our gains in South America. That was bland. That made me feel unhappy. So in our coup off dominating Africa, three ops off control of South America if they jam Chile with Red Scare. And of course Allende puts that right. So now it's a scoring card timing question. What else might we see here? 2 into Iraq to break Iraq, and sorry, 1 into Iraq. So a 4-op card, sorry. With the purge, they could tap Iraq and Chile. Okay, in the end, spreading around is probably the worst of all worlds. This is a good hand for us. Let's plug it in. So, Middle East scoring, Junta, Quagmire. How I learned. VOA to space. Willy Willy. E-E-oo. So Quagmire, so we don't Spider-Man JPEG Bear Trap. There it is. Let's hope we both get out fairly. That's a 1. They're also out. So we've got an option here. We could EEU coup Egypt, trying to score Middle East scoring for domination. So 1 in 3. Or I think we take the safer coup on Zaire, give up on Middle East scoring, but arms race. If they jam Chile, we can use Junta to realign Chile at +1. So what we're trying to do here is arms race plus some combination of things to give us, excuse me, points to get over the top. And we just get ready for their responses. Arms race plus Middle East plus space plus Willy Brandt, if they do nothing, is the win. But that's a very long shot parlay when they have many things that score points for them. Starting with influence. Alright, so we're going to be greedy. Let's start by playing Middle East scoring for 1 VP. Because I think they're now going to fill Peru. And if they do that, they might be too greedy. Sorry, they might fill Chile. And if they do, they might be too greedy to fill Peru. If they do fill Peru, we can play 2 into Paraguay to cover Argentina at 0 and coup Colombia. We still want to try and snag arms race. So they're under fairly extreme pressure here. The fact that the only sympathetic scoring card in the deck for them right now is Europe scoring is promising too. Although getting realigned out of Nigeria right now is bad for us. In fact, if they fill Chile, discretion might be the better part of valor here. We might be better off going 2 into Paraguay. Wow. Oh, they're getting ready to use South Africa unrest. So if we go to Paraguay, we can also coup Colombia, which ruins their realign attempt. Oh man, I still really want to use arms race for the VP. But I also need to coup Cameroon or Saharan states. And in doing so, we'll invite a coup war which then neuters arms race. But if they have South America scoring here, they're in a world of hurt. If they use South African unrest, it enables us to fill Botswana, so they need to make sure they do that with South African unrest. Then that gives us tempo to maybe coup Cameroon or Saharan states. But yeah, only Europe scoring is going to help them here. Central America's -1, Southeast Asia's -1, Africa's -1, and that might be all I need. So let's see. I have to say the VPs from not using Indo-Pakistani War for the Milops has definitely helped me squeak up. Realigns on Nigeria are a very real possibility next turn. But the vigor of which they've gone into Chile makes me wonder if they're holding South America scoring. Ooh, woo, 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 woo. Lots of thinking. Still lots of blue cards that cause us trouble. Yasuri, Alliance, Duck and Cover Us, Not Grain, CIA, CRG, and ABM in the neutral pile. On the red side, Flower Power, Wheelberry, Muslim, Brezhnev, Cultural, De Gaulle, Fidel still handy. Allende still kind of tricksy. All we know is they hold South African unrest. No other amazing reveals. But I guess they want to be spending their time now, since if they rush now, they won't make it till April to spend their clock anyway. Ugh. Ouch. Pinched a nerve in my back this weekend. Well, last week, but I was playing cricket this weekend, and late 30-somethings really shouldn't be playing cricket, unless you're Jimmy Anderson, because now I feel pretty roughed up. Oh, and it was just a T20 because with a beer team. Just imagine if it was a full day. Okay, so going for the big realignments all over the board. They'll start with Nigeria and then move to Mexico. Oh, wow. Okay. I mean, that shows that they're pretty dead set on South America, right? Oh, boy. If you miss on Paraguay, please miss on Paraguay. Please miss on Paraguay. Gives me a chance to revolve Paraguay once more. For luck. I really want them. I'd rather them do Paraguay because they're now at +1 in Argentina, and I don't want to spend 3 ops taking it back. Wow. That was great for me. Okay, so we use How I Learned to Refill Argentina. I think things. I mean, this pretty much locks in the fact they must be holding South America scoring here. There's no other reason for them to go after it. Hmm. Okay, salt. So we snag our arms race now before they get their mill-ops. Oh, we can't. Dang it! Dang it! That's only one VP. Nicely done. So salt pulled back brush. /50 in Argentina. So we tap Chile, I guess. Oh man, it's really annoying about arms race, but there we go. Yeah, because they're going to brush war AR6 and then they have to drop South America AR7. So if it fails, we win. And if it wins, we still dominate South America. Oh dear. They're in a bad way. Defcons 4. So we'll coup Cameroon to get domination in Africa. Excellent. Not in a good place. So they've got brush war in South Africa unrest. Yeah. In the end, the mill ops did for us. But there we go. All right. Well, I got a dash because it's well past dinner time. Okay. Well, lots to learn there and discover. But thank you for watching. I will see you tomorrow for another game in the Rutzel League. Off to a good start, but there's plenty of games left, and I got murdered last year. So yeah, I'll see you tomorrow when I'm playing Homebrew in the Rutzel League. So thanks again for Fruit Strike, and thanks again for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.